My name is Bernard Moon, and I'm the shortstop for Signature Park Storm. And my goal is to make it to the Major League. I would like to help my family out, and I would like to start my own family. And I'm doing this not just for me, but I'm doing this for the rest of my family too. And I want to be way beyond average. I want to be above average, and I want to be the best. Now, for all the people who say I can never do it, I prove all y'all wrong.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Sherman Johnson, otherwise Coach Sherm. A lot of y'all know me about Rockdale, Georgia. Baseball coach for a long time because of this man here, this Sherman Johnson II. He's a MLB prospect, class of 2023, Loganville High School. Played travel balls and all types of baseball up and down in Conyers, Georgia, all over. He's traveled all over with this game, and this game has taught us a lot. So today, right now, I just wanted to check in with all my players because I have a lot of players that I coach, and they're right now they're becoming of age, becoming of men, and they're starting to get the scholarships, and they're starting to take off. And I'm very proud of these young men. And I wanted to share a story with them that I couldn't share with them while they were young. And the story was really about my life. And that was the reason why at those times when they were young, when these young men were just 3 or 4 years of age, getting out, learning how to catch, learning how to throw, and the dads that they had by them that stood by their side, this is the story of those dads and those men that put the work in for these young men to become the men who they are today. So it started out in Rockdale, Georgia, and actually I'm gonna take it a little bit further back, so I can tell these kids about my life. This is my gift to those kids as they grow, because I know I can't see them all right now, but I will. I'll come to all their games as they go to college back and forth. But the gift is the truth. It's a story. It's a testimony. It's a story that involved them so much that they don't really know, so that's why I'm going to include these guys into the story. I came from Orlando, Florida. I was born in Orlando, Florida, raised there until I was 12. Then I moved to what we call Jacksonville, Florida. As a lot of people know, Jacksonville, Florida is one of the rougher areas in Florida. It's one of the rougher cities in the United States, as a matter of fact. So growing up in Jacksonville, Florida was a very tough thing to do, to stay stable and stay grounded and to be able to grow as a young man. I did this without a father, and also my mother was, distant at the time. So I grew up with my auntie in Orlando, Florida, and I grew up with her son. So those things I learned the growth, but then when we got to Jacksonville, things kind of changed for me. You know what I mean? My mom was still trying to find herself. She got married, and eventually that guy she got married to, I ended up at age 14, kicking him out of the house, pulling out his own gun on him at the age 14 as he set my mom on fire. Incidentally, but it happened. So 3 days later, I came home and he was sitting in the chair. So I jumped out the back window. And at that point, at age 14, that's when my life began. That's when things took a turn for me because I had to survive on my own. I had to do it all from my own. I had to make my own decisions at that time. And how do I do that as a 14-year-old? I didn't know. The only thing I could turn to was the older guys in the neighborhood, the ones who seemed like they cared, and they did care, but they were into things that, of course, were street things that were hustling, drug dealing, all other types of things. So I ended up getting involved in that type of lifestyle. So I'll fast forward all the way to 98. I still managed to, get past high school. I took showers in my friend's backyard with the water hose and my boxers. I still managed to stay clean. I slept outside in abandoned cars next to the crack house, with the windows down, window didn't roll up, mosquitoes. And I did these things not knowing, though, as a 15-year-old, that it was a better life. I didn't know, but this is what I knew to survive. I knew I had to sleep. I knew I wanted to be in a shelter. I knew I wanted to eat, so, I had to ask. But one thing I did learn, I think my auntie, was that she had a restaurant called the Pepper Pot in Jacksonville, Florida, a Jamaican restaurant. And from age 12, she taught me how to work. And she taught me that hard work will pay off. So I started peeling shrimp, age 12. And that was always with me, even up to the point to where I got kicked out of the house, or where I left the house on my own. So fast forward to 98. In 98, still in the streets, that's all I knew. By this time, I've adapted to it and I've got better at it. I know what to do now. I'm smart, so I took all that I thought I knew in life and I applied it to the streets, and I did good, and I did well at it until I got involved into a home invasion, intent to kill, midnight dwelling, strong arm robbery with a weapon. Intent to kill was meaning that you were in the house after midnight, and anyone in the house at that time could be a victim of your crime that you're committing. So in 1998, I got that charge, and I ended up going to court, and it was other people involved, and I did the street thing. I didn't mention anything. It really wasn't that entire situation, but God brought me through that situation, and He brought me to somehow get out of that situation, facing 35 years. And I did 1 year in the day, processed 2 weeks at Rayford, came back to CCD in Jacksonville, Florida, which was a drug facility where you had to keep your bed tight and everything. And I got out. My mom and nobody knew how I got out, but I knew that God had a different plan for me. So 2 weeks later, I packed up and I moved to Georgia. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. He wasn't here, nor was his older sister here. But so when I came to Georgia, I still knew work. I got a job. I worked hard. I kept working. Got a good job. Stayed with it. Got permanent. And I had my daughter. And then I had my son. And so because I grew up without a father, I knew what it was for a man to grow up without his father involved in his life. I knew how important it would be if I had a father in my life, how important his life would be if, I was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I took full responsibility, and I took full ignitement at that time, and ignited myself and said, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna make things better. Well, when he was born, the one thing that he did from birth was pick up one of these. He picked up this. I played basketball, I never knew anything about baseball, but he picked up one of these. I don't know where it was, he picked it up and he threw it. And I seen when he threw it, I said, man, he can throw. And from that point on, we developed a relationship, me and him. It was, Dad, come outside, let's throw. Okay, let's do it. I put everything I could because I seen that's what he enjoyed, and I seen it was the time between me and him that he enjoyed most, even more than that sport. So we developed, and he got better. So the thing was, though, now, in my life at that time, all those kids, 3 and 4, playing this game, they didn't know at that time in life that I had just went through the situation. I had just came out of prison, and now I'm with a group of guys trying to show them how to be better than I was. How to not make the mistakes that I made that turned my life into a different situation. That how they could be better than the guys that I seen and the guys that I were around. Not to mention that they were good guys, but they could have done something else with their lives, with the talents that they had. Instead, they chose a different route, or were forced into a different route of life. I was forced into that life, so I had to adapt into that life. So this right here video is for all my athletes, all the ones who got these scholarships, all the ones right now in their senior year who are in their final lap, who finna go on to a higher level. I want to tell them a story about when I went to prison and what it was like. So when I first showed up to prison, right, I was scared, didn't know what to do, I had been to jail a few times, but this time, it was like different. I knew I was gonna be there for a while. So when you go to jail, right, so you go in, you sit. Jail is like the holding place until you get a decisive on what they're gonna give you for the case or the crime that you did. You're either gonna get free, not guilty, guilty, time served, or whatever. But that's the holding place. Then you get your sentence, and then you go beyond that place. All right, so what happens in jail, everybody's eating, everybody's playing cards, they're happy, your friends from the neighborhood. It's kind of laid back because you kind of know, you don't know the decisions. Every day, when that gate opened and that officer came in to grab the guys, that was time for them to go to court. It was their time to go to court. The CO would come and grab them, and those group of guys would come out. They'll get chained up in the hallway, and they would go out and get transported to the courts. And now when we would still be in there, playing cards, having fun, doing what we needed to do, lolly dolly, we got our cases, we were sitting there waiting. These guys were gone for the whole day. Then the door would open again, and here come these group of guys. Now, these group of guys, that same group of guys that went out, some in the church with me, some playing cards with me, trading and laughing with me, those group of guys would come back. And you would look at maybe 6 of those guys out of the 12 or 13 that went, and their demeanor would change. They would no longer come to the church. They would no longer come to the sing and pray. They would no longer play spades no more. Those guys would just walk around. You would see them walking around just, and then they doing their dips. They doing their push-ups. They doing everything. They doing their curls. And I'm like, one of them was real close to me in the church. I said, bro, what happened? Why you no longer, coming to the church believing that we're gonna get out? I said, Sherm, look. He said, I got this band. I said, band? It's 2 different bands. So when you go and get your time and the judge say, okay, now you got prison time, you would get an orange band. But if you had jail time, which means that you were going to get a weaker sentence, you're going to get out quicker, then you would get a yellow band. So the guys that caught them yellow bands, they knew they were getting back out. They were still partying and dancing. But the guys that knew that they were finna go through something else, that they had that hard time, they had that orange band, they stopped playing. They got serious. And I asked my buddy, I said, man, why you ain't? He said, man, look, Sherm, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I know you a long time. He said, but I gotta do 15 years. He said, I gotta prepare to what's over here on the other side of this gate. He said, I can no longer stay over here and pretend that I'm not gonna walk through that gate. I'm going there now. And you know about the thing about where I'm going? It's guys stronger, it's guys faster, it's guys who meaner, and it's guys who already know the system. It's guys who have the advantage on me. And if I don't go and prepare myself, to go over here through these gates, then I'm gonna be pushed to the side. I'm gonna be weak. They're gonna take advantage of me. But I'm still gonna have to do this time. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? You might be right, because I'm facing 35 years. So I know I gotta walk through that gate. And when I come back, I might have a band. So I thought about this, and he continued to walk around, get stronger and stronger and stronger until the gate, time passed, the gate opened, and he had to leave. By this time, he was built, he was ready, he was prepared. But there was some that came back who just still didn't understand it, and they didn't do it, and they went off weak and frail. They went off weak and frail with the same time. So I thought about this story, and I said how it relates into these young men that I've seen grow, that I've pushed at a time where I really needed them, that they were really part of my life, that these young men were really a part of my life. They're really in my heart. They made me grow into the man that I am today, and they don't even know it, because the time that I was with them, that was the time where I just had came from that place, and I learned to become a man. So a lot of these young men right now, a lot of you got scholarships, a lot of you are ready to be prepared to go to the next level. My question is to you, are you prepared? Are you going to be prepared? Or are you going, you're going through those gates. You know you're going to these colleges, these D1 colleges. Yeah, you're the best right now in high school, yeah. But you're going to a place now where they're bigger and they're stronger. And they're already there waiting on you. They know the system. You have to get prepared right now. You have to realize that you have that red band. You're going to a place where it's going to be tougher and stronger. You're going to have to be mentally dominant. You're going to have to be physically dominant. But you have time before you got your sentence now. You got your scholarship. You got your commitments. You got all this. You got your sentence. Don't waste the time right now not preparing yourself. Don't let now the girls, don't let now the car, don't let now the things that are going to stay here in the jail, don't let the ones that are in the jail, like me when he came back, bro, let's come to church. He was like, nah. Don't let the people who have got the yellow bands, or who going to get the free time, the ones who are gone, who not going to go that hard route, we're going to get back out here, and eventually they're going to have to come back to that hard route. But don't let those take you away from the focus that you got time. You're going to go serve. You're going to go college. You're going to go play with stronger. You're going to play with kids right now who are just finna get ready to go to the MLB, the NFL, or the professional leagues. Use your time now to prepare, because you know you have your time. Go ahead and start doing your push-ups. Go ahead and start preparing now. Go ahead and start working hard and let all the other ones aside. Watch them play their games. Watch them play spades and everything. You continue to do your laps and do your push-ups and get prepared to go, because where you're going to go is going to be tough. And because I've been there, I thought I'd share this story with y'all, because life was tough because of the decisions that I made. You know, and they don't have to be tough. And that was the things that a lot of those dads that are listening now, a lot of those dads who will see this will agree to, that all of them had hard lives. Thus is why they stayed as fathers in the lives of their kids and made sure that they would get the proper education, the proper training, and the proper love that a father has to give to his son. See, I love this guy, but I know that one day he's going to become a man. That's why I raised him to become a man and not to become my son. He has something to do. He has a red band. He's a full ride scholarship athlete. But where he's going to go is going to be guys who's tougher. It's going to be guys who's stronger. Now, he's got to ask himself this question: is he going to stay and relax and wait, though he knows he has this time? And he's going to go into those doors and be dominated and be weak and frail and move to the side? That's a decision that you have to make as well. Man up, tough up, leave all the things aside alone, the phones, the girls, and all that stuff alone, because now you're finna enter into a different gate. They're gonna still be here when you get out. But when you come out, you're gonna be chiseled and smarter and wiser, though the same thing happened to me. Because when I got out of prison, I came out stronger, smarter, wiser. It made me stronger, smarter, wiser to understand that this wasn't the route that I wanted to go. And thus I made a lifestyle for him and for all my friends around me, so I could be a better friend to them. So I love you guys. You guys are very important to me. Y'all are part of my life. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen so a lot of people can see you, because you know who they are. I ain't going to name them out. But understand, now you're a man, you're going to have to move amongst men. You're going to have to move amongst men. You're going to have to go through those gates where it's already grown men there. They're not developing. They already developed. They already know how to fight. They already know how to kill. You're going to a place where these guys already know how to throw the ball harder, stronger, faster, run faster. Prepare yourself. Love you.